A girl found a strange stone on the road. She placed it into the eye socket of a stone statue, and it was like she'd hit some kind of hidden switch. A walking stick insect crawled out from the statue's mouth, while the girl stood there trying to make sense of it all. Her mom called out for her to hurry up and get in the car. By the time Lisa arrived at their destination, she realized the bug from earlier had somehow followed her there. It led her to a crumbling, overgrown maze. Above the entrance hung a stone gargoyle with ram's horns. The girl was dying of curiosity and wanted to go inside, but the maid suddenly appeared and stopped her in her tracks. She told Lisa to come back right away, saying there was nothing in there but a pile of old rocks, and that she'd get lost if she wandered in. So Lisa reluctantly followed the maid back. That night, she was jolted awake by a strange noise. It was the bug from earlier, back to find her again. Lisa pulled out a book, pointed to a picture inside, and asked if it was a fairy. The bug seemed to understand exactly what she meant. It shook its body a few times, then transformed into a tiny, human-shaped sprite, and darted out through the window. Driven by curiosity, Lisa followed. She trailed the sprite all the way back, to the same maze she'd visited that afternoon. By now, Lisa had completely forgotten everything the maid had warned her about. She followed the sprite step by step down the stone staircase. When she reached the bottom, she called out a few times, asking if anyone was there. She looked around, nothing but silence. Then, without warning, something emerged from behind her. A towering creature with the head of a ram and the body of a tree. Not wanting to frighten the girl, the creature quickly spoke up to explain himself. He was Pan, a god from the underground kingdom. He had once served the girl as her loyal guardian. Her father was the king of the underground kingdom, and her mother was the goddess of the moon. The girl herself was the princess of that realm. Longing for the world above, she had once slipped away to the surface, but the sun scorched her eyes, and she lost all memory of who she was. When Pan finished, Lisa didn't believe a single word of it. Then Pan asked her, "Take a look. Is there a crescent moon-shaped birthmark on your left shoulder? That's all the proof you need." Lisa thought to herself, she did have a moon-shaped birthmark on her left shoulder. Could she really be a lost princess, stranded in the human world? Pan then told her that to unlock the entrance to the maze and return to the underground kingdom, she would need to complete 3 tasks based on the clues in a book. He handed her an ancient book, and warned her, only open it when you're completely alone. That's the only way the tasks will reveal themselves. Lisa couldn't wait and opened it on the spot. The pages were completely blank. By the time she looked up, Pan had already vanished. The next day, Lisa seized the moment while bathing alone, and secretly pulled out the book she'd hidden in the corner. She opened it again, and this time, words had appeared. According to the instructions, she needed to find a withered old tree somewhere near the house. Inside the tree lived a massive toad demon that had been slowly killing the tree from within. If she placed 3 magic stones into its mouth, and retrieved the key hidden inside, the tree would be freed and could grow strong again. Lisa found the tree not far from home. Stealing her nerves, she squeezed through the hollow opening at the roots. The wood inside had rotted badly. It was wet, dark, and crawling with all kinds of disgusting bugs. She pushed through with everything she had until she reached the far end of the hollow, where, sure enough, a massive toad was waiting. Lisa demanded to know why it had taken over the hollow and was strangling the tree's growth, but the toad didn't even acknowledge her. Then it noticed the bug hanging around Lisa's neck. So she slipped the 3 magic stones in among the bugs, and the toad swallowed them whole without a second thought. Moments later, its stomach lurched and churned violently, and it heaved up a pile of slimy gunk, and there it was, the golden key. That night, Lisa went to the maze to find Pan. Pan didn't ask for the key. Instead, he told her to hold on to it, because she'd need it for the next task. Then he handed her a piece of chalk, and told her that all she had to do was draw a door on any wall, and it would take her anywhere she wanted to go. He also produced an hourglass, and to help her complete the mission, he sent along 3 tiny fairies to go with her, because where she was heading was extremely dangerous. Pan warned her again and again. No matter how tempting the food looked inside, she must not eat a single thing. He also made it crystal clear that she had to get out before the last grain of sand fell, or she'd be trapped inside forever, with no way out. Once she had a grip on what needed to be done, Lisa drew a door on the wall with the chalk. She gave it a gentle push, and a long hallway stretched out before her. The hourglass began counting down. Lisa climbed up on a small stool and stepped inside. She made her way through the blood-red corridor, all the way to the end. There, she found a table overflowing with the most lavish spread of food she'd ever seen, but the creature guarding the room was absolutely terrifying. The monster hadn't moved an inch, so Lisa crept closer to peek at the plate sitting in front of it. Inside were what looked like the creature's own eyeballs. Grossed out, Lisa picked one up for a closer look, then quickly set it back down. She glanced around at the walls. They were covered in graphic paintings of the monster slaughtering children. In the corner of the room was a mountain of little kids' shoes. It was painfully obvious. Every child who had ever come here had been devoured. Lisa was absolutely terrified. She quickly released the fairies Pan had given her. They led her to 3 locks, and told her to open the one in the middle. But Lisa didn't follow their lead. She went straight for the one on the left instead, and pulled out the golden dagger inside. The task was almost finished. Lisa breathed a sigh of relief, and started heading for the exit. But then her eyes drifted back to the food on the table. She glanced over her shoulder one more time to make sure the monster was still asleep, then reached out, picked up a grape, and popped it into her mouth. And in that instant, the monster's hand began to move.